This time on Auto Anatomy, the 924 goes on its first road trip. We tear the engine apart to fix an oil leak, plus it gets a new exhaust. All right, so the Porsche has been running for about a week now, and I got in touch with this guy down in Pueblo, Colorado, which is about 45 minutes south of here, and he's got some 924 parts, and he's got like the air conditioning line that's missing on this car, as well as a new rear spoiler. So we're gonna go pick it up, but we're gonna try, fingers crossed, to take the red car, take the 924 down to go pick it up. So I don't know, maybe pressing my luck a little bit here, but let's see what happens. Car is surprisingly doing pretty well. It's not quite as much of a highway cruiser as say the Thunderbird is, but it's pretty close. I have had a casualty so far. The speedometer cable died, so I'm having to rely on my phone to tell me how fast we're going. But otherwise, we've been doing about 75, 80 miles an hour. The temperature gauge is almost dead cold. And it's just cruising along just fine. I'm going to say this is a successful first outing for the Porsche. One of many to come. Another one of the things that was kind of a bummer about this car is that the factory turbo wing was chewed up, and because these things are kind of hard to find, and when you do find them, they're really expensive. But one of the common upgrades or like replacements for it is put a 944 wing on there, which if you can see this one, it sticks out about 3 inches, and the 944 wing comes out like an extra 2 inches or so. So now that we've got the 944 wing, you can see it in there, let's get this one off. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to keep this just in case. And then we're going to get the other wing on and see how it looks. So I'm glad I kept my little tool I made for the bottom of the sending unit, because these screws are the same type here as the bottom of that sending unit, where it's like a little safety thing. It almost looks like a little Holley carburetor jet, but you need a split point to get on both sides of that screw to undo it. All right, so here's the finished product. You can see it's a little bit larger than the old wing, but it just bolts right in place. And boy, it looks a whole lot better than the chewed up wing right here. Got one little spot where I need to drill a hole. This part of the wing isn't held down by anything right here on the 924. Now the 944, there's a screw hole, so I just need to drill a hole through the hatch so I can bolt that part down. But otherwise it looks pretty good. I think that's a success. All right, so I've got the speedometer inside, and most likely what's going on is there's like a gear that's inside here that's broken, or something's come loose. So let's see if we can pop this apart and hopefully, fingers crossed, get it to work again. Now that the lens is off, I wonder if this will come out. Looks like it should. It's just being difficult. That looks like that should just push through, but it doesn't. I wonder. It's because of that red paint. No, something is locking that in there. I don't know what it is. So I just popped these two screws off the gauge face and it popped out, and I don't know why. There's no reason why that should have worked. But it did. So I think let's take the needle off and then we can get a better look at this without it falling apart. So that's working. Alright, so I think I figured out what's wrong. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but this gear right here is not really meshing with this worm gear here. So I think it just needs to be pulled back just a little bit, and I bet it's slipping on that shaft. So I'm going to pull it back, super glue it on, and we'll see if that fixed it. Alright, all back together, looking brand new. Now I guess we just have to see if it actually works. So, cross your fingers. You know, this is almost as bad as working on the Thunderbird. And there's just no room in here to get the speedometer cable reattached. Finally, I got that thing. That is almost impossible to get that speedometer cable back in the back of the speedometer. And I thought working on the Thunderbird was tough. And the verdict is, after all of that, didn't make a bit of difference. Oh well. Looking at the clutch, so this is the access cover, access little hole thing, and this is the end of the clutch fork, I think. And the manual says to determine if your clutch is worn out, you have to measure from the end of this to this hole. And a new one is 18 millimeters, and a worn out one, time to replace it, is 34 millimeters. So let me figure out a way to measure that. Well, since I don't have any inside calipers, I think I want to do is, I've got some various sockets, and I'm just going to slide it in there. See, that one's too big. And then once I find one that fits snug, I'll just measure the outside of it. That one's actually pretty good. Maybe just slightly larger than that. And that one's too big. So somewhere between these two. So our clutch wear is somewhere between an 11/16 socket and a 3/4 socket outside diameter. Let's measure this. The 11/16 is 1.020 and this is 1.095 roughly. So 1.020 and 1.095. Doing some quick math, 1.020 times 25.4. So it's more than 25 millimeters and less than 27. So our clutch should actually be good, which means we've got another reason why it's not disengaging fully. We've got a new clutch master, but a rebuilt clutch slave. I'm just going to pull the slave out and just take a look at it and make sure that everything's working. It's not leaking internally. There were some pits on the inside of the bore, so I'm just hopeful that it's not pushing fluid past it, but I haven't seen any leaking down there. But let's just take a look anyway. I got the slave apart and didn't really see anything obvious. Rebled it, put it back together, and we'll see if it works. I did measure the throw, and it looks like it's pushing about 15 millimeters, so I don't think it can actually push a whole lot further than what it's doing. So we'll see. Well, I think I found my oil leak too. I think that front cover and the front seal is leaking. So we'll get one of those ordered and get that installed. Oh, that's impressive. That's just like pouring oil out of it. So unfortunately, in order to replace the timing seal, we've got to basically do the timing belt again. So we'll get it back on top dead center and start this process over. So I'm going to end up having to take the radiator out of this thing so that I can get an impact on the front nut of the pulley, because there's no way I can get it off otherwise. And on this little car, there's just no room. So I guess the radiator comes out. All right, fingers crossed. I may be able to just move the fan assembly enough to get an impact in there, so we'll see. Man, in order to get that bolt off, I ended up having to use a torch and get a new impact with 800 foot-pounds. That sucker was on there. Yeah, got the old seal out. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but it's breaking as I'm touching it. So this thing is definitely toast. You can even like tear off chunks of it by hand. So that was not going to keep any oil in. So we have a brand new seal. Let's put this one in. So we're getting ready to go back together with the Porsche, but before we do, longtime viewers of the program will know this, but for the new people, I'm pretty OCD when it comes to putting cars back together. I cannot physically put dirty parts back in a car, so unfortunately that means I have to spend a lot more time cleaning things up than I normally would. Probably one of many reasons why I'd never hack it as like a mechanic. Alright, so it's back up and running. It sounds good. As you can see, this thing has had a modified exhaust, and somebody has just hacked up all of the exhaust here on it. And there's supposed to be a muffler right here, and that's supposed to be a catalytic converter. That's empty, so somebody had hollowed that out already, and this is not really providing any muffling. So it sounds okay, it's just a little bit louder than I'd like, so I think I want to put a muffler on it. Now, I found this on Facebook Marketplace, and it's brand new, and it's a 2.5 in, and it's just a straight through design, but it does have a little muffling, and it's pretty compact, and I think it'll look pretty good on the car. So let's go ahead and get that installed. Do a little quick measurement here. This looks like about 21 inches from the entrance to the exit. So let's measure on the car and see where that falls. Okay. Actually, that's going to be right at where this tip welds on. So if I cut this back just slightly from that tip, then I should be able to just put it right there. It actually works out pretty well. Okay, that looks like that's actually going to fit really well up in there. So let me just hold this in place and we'll get it tacked in and then figure out a mount. Got the muffler just kind of roughly in place so you can see how it's going to look. Come around the light here. So I think tips are even. Looks like it's in a good spot. Let's get it welded on. Okay, so we've got the new muffler installed. Let's hear what it sounds like under full throttle. Before we do, here's the old system. Okay, and now with the new. louder than I really wanted it to be. I was hoping to kind of tone it down just a touch. What I may end up doing is putting a resonator on the car where the cat is, because right now the cat is just hollow and it's acting kind of like an expansion chamber. So I think what I'll do is just put, go find another muffler, like a resonator or a glass pack or something, and put in there just to try and tone things down just a little bit. That's going to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Coming up on the next episode, we're going to rebuild the front suspension and the steering, rebuild the rear suspension, and then, you know, it's just body work and paint. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Click on the bell to be notified when any new videos come out. Like and share with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Take care of each other.